What happens when the world's second-largest economy decides that military modernization isn't just about defense, but about rewriting the rules of international order? Consider China's establishment of its first overseas military base in Djibouti in 2017, projecting power across critical shipping lanes thousands of miles from Chinese shores. China's current military doctrine builds on its 2014 winning informatized local wars and its 2020 joint operations guidelines, melding conventional force with cyber, space, and economic tools. We'll trace how Mao's guerrilla doctrine evolved through informatization and now centers on joint, multi-domain operations. The implications extend far beyond regional conflicts. This is about reshaping how wars will be fought in the modern era. Understanding this transformation requires examining the intellectual foundations that drive China's strategic thinking. The evolution of Chinese military thinking. The transformation of Chinese military thinking represents one of the most dramatic strategic shifts in modern warfare history. Where Mao's 1963 doctrine emphasized defensive attrition warfare, relying on guerrilla tactics to wear down larger foes through prolonged campaigns in China's vast interior, Xi Jinping's military doctrine operates on fundamentally different principles. Mao's concept of people's war assumed China would fight defensively against technologically superior invaders, using asymmetric tactics and the country's massive population as strategic advantages. Today's Chinese military leadership has abandoned this reactive approach entirely, embracing what they term winning wars before they start, through comprehensive national power projection. China's doctrine moved from active defense, 1980, to informatized local wars, 2004, to today's joint multi-domain operations, 2020 guidelines, reflecting the country's growing confidence and capabilities. Military planners recognized that future conflicts will be fought with advanced technology rather than mass mobilization. The PLA has publicly credited Operation Desert Storm for inspiring its 1993 doctrine shift, per CMC white papers, observing how precision strikes and information dominance allowed smaller forces to defeat larger conventional armies. Chinese strategists noted how the United States achieved rapid initial victories through technological superiority, but struggled with prolonged occupations and nation-building efforts. This analysis directly influenced China's current doctrine, which emphasizes achieving decisive results quickly while avoiding extended commitments that could drain resources or invite international intervention. The PLA's 2024 Joint Sword exercise demonstrated this approach, deploying 111 aircraft and 46 vessels around Taiwan in coordinated multi-domain operations. The cornerstone of China's current military doctrine involves achieving strategic objectives without engaging in direct military confrontation whenever possible. This approach integrates economic pressure, cyber warfare, information operations, and diplomatic coercion as primary tools of conflict. Chinese strategists view military force as the final component of a comprehensive campaign that begins long before any shots are fired. Economic warfare might involve restricting access to critical materials or technologies, while cyber operations could target infrastructure and communication systems. Information campaigns aim to shape public opinion and political decision-making in target nations, creating conditions favorable to Chinese objectives. Artificial intelligence and machine learning have become central to Chinese strategic planning in ways that distinguish their approach from traditional military doctrines. Chinese military researchers are developing AI systems that can process vast amounts of intelligence data, identify patterns in enemy behavior, and recommend optimal timing for military operations. These systems analyze everything from economic indicators and political polling, data to satellite imagery and social media trends, providing commanders with unprecedented situational awareness. Machine learning algorithms help Chinese planners predict how adversaries might respond to various forms of pressure, allowing them to design campaigns that maximize strategic gains while minimizing risks. Chinese military education has undergone comprehensive reform to prepare officers for hybrid warfare scenarios that blend conventional and unconventional tactics. Military academies now require students to study disciplines previously considered civilian, including economics, psychology, and information technology. Officer training programs simulate conflicts where success depends on coordinating military operations with cyber attacks, economic sanctions, and propaganda campaigns. Chinese commanders learn to view every action through multiple lenses, considering not just immediate tactical effects, but also broader strategic implications across all domains of competition. The military-civil fusion strategy represents perhaps the most significant innovation in Chinese military thinking, treating the entire Chinese economy and society as potential military assets. Under this doctrine, civilian infrastructure including ports, airports, telecommunications networks, and manufacturing facilities are designed with dual-use capabilities that can support military operations when needed. Chinese companies in strategically important sectors receive guidance on how their operations can contribute to national security objectives. This approach allows China to leverage its entire industrial base for military purposes while maintaining the appearance of peaceful development. Speed and decisive action form the operational core of China's modern military doctrine, reflecting lessons learned from studying how international coalitions form and respond to crises. Chinese planners believe they have a narrow window of opportunity to achieve strategic objectives before facing coordinated international resistance. This doctrine emphasizes overwhelming initial strikes that paralyze enemy decision-making and create conditions where resistance becomes futile. The integration of space-based assets into Chinese military planning demonstrates how thoroughly they have embraced multi-domain operations. Chinese military doctrine now treats satellite communications, navigation systems, and surveillance platforms as critical components of every operation. Military planners assume that future conflicts will begin with attempts to blind or disable enemy satellites, while protecting Chinese space-based capabilities becomes a fundamental requirement for operational success. Chinese cyber warfare capabilities are integrated into military planning at every level, from strategic campaigns down to tactical operations. Chinese doctrine assumes that cyber attacks will precede and accompany conventional military operations, targeting everything from power grids and transportation networks to banking systems and government communications. Military planners view cyber operations not as separate activities, but as essential components of broader campaigns designed to achieve strategic objectives. This comprehensive doctrinal evolution represents far more than military modernization. Chinese strategists have fundamentally reconceptualized warfare itself, creating integrated approaches that treat military, economic, technological, and informational power as components of unified strategic campaigns. Yet doctrine alone tells only part of the story. The true measure of China's military transformation becomes clear when examining the concrete resources backing these strategic concepts. Numbers that tell the story. Numbers alone tell the story of China's rise. According to the 2025 IISS military balance, the People's Liberation Army now maintains 2.035 million active personnel across all branches, making it the world's largest standing military force. This figure excludes the additional 510,000 reserve personnel who provide strategic depth for extended operations. When combined with paramilitary forces, China can mobilize human resources on a scale that no other nation can match. China's naval transformation produces the most dramatic statistics in modern military history. China fields over 370 major warships, projected to grow to 395 by year's end, with its 12 nuclear subs and 4 carriers challenging US naval power directly. By 2030, the plan could reach 435 ships, compared to the US Navy's projected 294. This fleet expansion includes ocean-going amphibious ships that enable force projection across vast distances, while advanced mine warfare vessels demonstrate preparation for both coastal defense and offensive operations. Fleet auxiliaries provide the logistics backbone necessary for extended deployments, addressing historical limitations that previously constrained Chinese naval operations to waters near the homeland. The composition of China's naval expansion reveals strategic priorities beyond mere numbers. Each vessel category represents specific operational requirements derived from comprehensive strategic planning rather than random acquisition decisions. Major surface combatants, amphibious assault ships, and fleet auxiliaries complete a naval force structure designed for sustained operations in multiple theater environments simultaneously. Air power statistics demonstrate China's commitment to modernizing its most technologically demanding military branch. The People's Liberation Army Air Force operates over 3,200 aircraft, emphasizing advanced platforms that incorporate stealth technology and precision strike capabilities. Strategic bombers extend Chinese reach across continental distances, while stealth fighters provide air superiority capabilities in contested environments. This modernization effort prioritizes quality improvements alongside quantity expansion, replacing older aircraft with systems that can operate effectively against sophisticated air defense networks. The organizational structure of Chinese air power reflects lessons learned from studying modern warfare requirements. 5 theater command air forces coordinate operations across China's strategic regions, while 11 core deputy-grade bases control air brigades at operational levels. This command structure enables rapid deployment and coordination of air assets according to strategic priorities, whether for homeland defense or power projection missions. Financial commitment to military modernization tells its own compelling story about Chinese strategic priorities. China's official defense budget reached 1.78 trillion yuan in 2025, approximately $246 billion, representing a 7.2% increase over the previous year. Independent estimates from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute place actual Chinese military expenditure at $314 billion in 2024, making China the world's second-largest military spender, behind only the United States. This spending trajectory demonstrates sustained commitment to military development that spans multiple budget cycles and leadership transitions. Growth rate of Chinese military spending outpaces most other major powers when examined over 5-year periods, while established military powers maintain relatively stable defense budgets. China has consistently increased military investment at rates that compound into transformative capabilities over time. This spending pattern enables China to simultaneously modernize existing forces while developing entirely new military capabilities in emerging domains such as space and cyber warfare. Geographic distribution of Chinese forces reflects evolving strategic concepts that extend far beyond traditional homeland defense. New base constructions in disputed territories and strategic locations demonstrate China's intention to project power across extended distances. The establishment of overseas facilities provides logistics support for naval operations in the Indian Ocean and beyond, while domestic base improvements enhance China's ability to concentrate forces rapidly in potential conflict zones. The integration of paramilitary forces multiplies China's effective military strength beyond traditional calculations. The People's Armed Police contributes additional manpower for internal security and border defense missions, freeing regular military forces for external operations. The Maritime Militia, comprising civilian vessels with military training and equipment, creates additional capabilities that operate in legal gray zones where traditional military forces might provoke international incidents. The Rocket Force exemplifies how China combines quantity with advanced technology to create capabilities that exceed the sum of their parts. With at least 125,000 personnel organized into 7 major bases, the Rocket Force controls both conventional and nuclear strategic missiles that can strike targets across continental distances. This force structure provides China with escalation options ranging from precise conventional strikes to strategic nuclear deterrence. The strategic timeline for Chinese military development reveals systematic planning designed to achieve specific capabilities by designated dates. By 2027, China aims to accelerate integrated development of mechanization, informationization, and intelligentization across all military branches. The 2035 target focuses on comprehensive modernization of military theory, organizational structure, personnel systems, and equipment. The ultimate goal for 2049 envisions a fully transformed world-class military force capable of global operations. Reserve forces and mobilization capabilities provide strategic depth that extends Chinese military potential far beyond active duty personnel. The ability to rapidly expand military forces during crises or conflicts gives China options that smaller military establishments cannot match. This mobilization potential becomes particularly significant when considering scenarios involving extended operations or multiple simultaneous commitments. These staggering figures underpin a doctrine that aims for regional dominance and beyond. Yet raw numbers tell only part of the story. The true transformation lies in how China is integrating cutting-edge technologies to multiply the effectiveness of these massive forces in ways that could fundamentally alter the nature of warfare itself. The technology revolution within. Advanced technologies now serve as the foundation for this transformation. China's PLA calls AI a force multiplier in its 2020 Science of Military Strategy text, fundamentally changing how military operations unfold. China's PLA rocket force brief to Congress described its use of AI to identify critical vulnerabilities in enemy systems, per DoD 2024. These AI-powered platforms compress traditional military timelines from hours to minutes across intelligence gathering, target identification, and tactical decision-making processes. Chinese military researchers have developed systems that process satellite imagery, intercepted communications, and battlefield sensor data simultaneously, providing commanders with real-time situational awareness that exceeds human analytical capabilities. These systems learn from each operation, building databases of enemy patterns and behaviors that inform future engagements. Chinese autonomous weapons platforms now operate with increasing independence, requiring minimal human oversight for routine surveillance and reconnaissance missions, while maintaining human authorization requirements for lethal engagements. Hypersonic weapons represent the most significant shift in strategic calculations, rendering existing missile defense systems obsolete through sheer speed and maneuverability. Chinese hypersonic glide vehicles travel at speeds exceeding Mach 5 while following unpredictable flight paths that confound interceptor missiles designed for ballistic trajectories. The DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missile, with its 2,150 km range, exemplifies this capability by threatening naval vessels previously considered safe from land-based attacks. Chinese engineers have solved the technical challenges of maintaining guidance and control at hypersonic speeds, creating weapons that combine the range of intercontinental ballistic missiles with the precision of cruise missiles. These capabilities compress decision-making timeframes for potential adversaries, while expanding China's strike options across multiple domains simultaneously. Cyber and electronic warfare capabilities developed by Chinese military engineers can systematically blind enemy satellites and communications networks through directed electromagnetic attacks and sophisticated jamming techniques. China tested an anti-satellite laser in 2007, demonstrating early commitment to space warfare capabilities that have since evolved into comprehensive systems. The Information Support Force manages both space and cyber warfare operations, operating ground-based transmitters capable of disrupting satellite communications across vast geographic areas, while mobile electronic warfare platforms can accompany advancing forces to maintain localized information dominance. Chinese electronic warfare systems target specific frequency bands used by military communications, GPS navigation, and satellite imagery systems, creating information blackouts that paralyze enemy coordination. Chinese military doctrine emphasizes electronic attacks as opening moves in any conflict, designed to isolate enemy units and prevent coordinated responses to Chinese military operations. Commercial technology companies, including Huawei and Tencent, contribute critical capabilities to Chinese military modernization through dual-use technologies that serve both civilian and military applications. Huawei's telecommunications infrastructure provides the backbone for military communications networks, while its 5G technology enables real-time coordination of autonomous weapons systems and battlefield sensors. Tencent's artificial intelligence research contributes to military surveillance and analysis capabilities, while its social media platforms provide intelligence gathering opportunities and information warfare capabilities. Chinese military planners leverage civilian technology development cycles that operate faster than traditional military procurement processes, incorporating commercial innovations into military systems within months rather than years. Chinese cyber warfare units conduct operations across multiple domains simultaneously, targeting power grids, transportation networks, financial systems, and government communications as components of broader military campaigns. These units employ artificial intelligence tools that can identify vulnerabilities in enemy networks and execute attacks with minimal human supervision. Chinese cyber capabilities extend beyond destructive attacks to include data manipulation, system infiltration, and long-term monitoring that supports intelligence gathering and operational planning. Unmanned systems development encompasses everything from small reconnaissance drones to autonomous naval vessels capable of independent operations across ocean distances. Chinese military factories produce swarms of miniaturized drones that can overwhelm air defense systems through coordinated attacks, while larger unmanned aircraft conduct surveillance missions lasting multiple days. Autonomous naval vessels under development include submarine hunting platforms that can patrol vast ocean areas without human crews, and unmanned surface vessels equipped with missile systems for offshore combat operations. These unmanned systems reduce personnel risks while extending Chinese military presence into areas where manned platforms might provoke international incidents. China's approach to military technology emphasizes leapfrogging Western developments rather than copying existing systems, investing resources in breakthrough technologies that could provide decisive advantages rather than incremental improvements. Chinese military research prioritizes technologies that Western militaries have not yet deployed operationally, including quantum communications, advanced artificial intelligence, and novel materials science applications. This strategy aims to create capability gaps that favor Chinese forces while avoiding direct competition in areas where Western militaries maintain technological leads. Technological integration across military branches creates force multiplication effects that transform individual capabilities into coordinated systems of systems. Chinese command and control networks link artificial intelligence analysis with hypersonic strike capabilities, electronic warfare systems, and cyber operations to create synchronized attacks that exceed the sum of their individual components. Information gathered by autonomous reconnaissance platforms feeds directly into targeting systems for directed energy weapons and hypersonic missiles, while electronic warfare capabilities suppress enemy responses to Chinese attacks. This integration enables Chinese forces to achieve decisive effects through coordinated technological capabilities rather than relying solely on numerical superiority or individual weapons system performance. Yet technology alone cannot deliver military success without the organizational structures needed to coordinate these advanced capabilities across multiple services and domains. Joint Operations Mastery. The PLA has created command structures that function like a single organism across all military branches. In late 2020, PLA's new Joint Operations Command Guidelines mandated integrated brigades for joint operations at the brigade level, fundamentally transforming how Chinese forces coordinate complex operations.